Welcome to Empower Hour, your go-to podcast for all things disability and independence, brought to you by Empower Abilities, your disability and aging experts. I'm co-host Afton Harper.
And I'm Julie Jordan. Listen in as we dive into real stories, resources, and meaningful conversations that empower individuals with disabilities to live life to the fullest.
Whether you're tuning in for advocacy, inspiration, or practical tips, you're in the right place.
This is Empower Hour, because independence isn't a destination, it's a journey.
I want to take a minute to tell you about some of the services we offer here at Empower Abilities. We're all about helping people with disabilities live as independently as they want. That could mean helping someone find housing, navigate Medicare, get connected with benefits, or learn skills for daily living. We offer individual case management, advocacy, peer support, and information and referral. Basically, we help people find what they need and figure out how to get it. We also have home modifications, like ramps, grab bars, or walker steps, plus assistive technology, recycled medical equipment, and if you need a hearing aid, we can help with that too. Everything from evaluations to repairs. And for those who need a little extra help at home, we offer consumer-directed services and veterans-directed care, things like transportation and meal prep, housekeeping and personal care. But it's not all services and paperwork. We also host social clubs, support groups, and community events, so people can connect, have fun, and build relationships. Because independence doesn't mean isolation. So if any of that sounds like something you or someone you care about might be interested in, give us a call or check out our website at empowerabilities.org. We're here to help, and we love what we do.
Well, hello and welcome to Empower Hour, where we share stories that highlight independence, resilience, and the power of removing barriers. I'm Julie Jordan, and with me is Afton Harper.
Hello.
How are you today, Afton?
I'm doing good. It's a beautiful day out, and I'm enjoying, even though it's been kind of stormy lately, I've been enjoying the nice weather.
And it's a Friday the 13th. So far, it's been nothing major has happened, so that's a good thing. So today we are joined by Sayed Mohammed from Bahrain, and he is a foreign exchange student who has a vision impairment and has been successfully navigating life in a new country while pursuing his education. So we're going to talk to Sayed about his journey, what independence means to him, and what community can learn from his experiences. So welcome to you, Sayed.
Hello. Welcome, guys. This is Sayed.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself first.
Well, so first of all, as you said, my name is Sayed, and I'm actually going to be 21 tomorrow. So.
Oh, happy early birthday.
Thank you.
21, so young.
So I'm from this teeny tiny island called Bahrain. If you don't know where it's located in the Middle East. It's a neighboring country with Qatar, as well as UAE, which has the state of Dubai. I was born with a visual impairment, and I have this condition called Peter's anomaly. I'm technically legally blind. I can't drive, but that doesn't stop me from doing everything that I love, and I guess that's why I'm here in the United States. I actually used to be an exchange student back in 2021. I used to go to a high school here in America, and I was hosted by an American host family, and because the amount of accommodations I've seen and the help I got here, I decided to, ended up coming back for college. So I go to Drury University here in Springfield, which is really cool. It's my second year, and I'm happy that I'm here.
Is it a different family that you're with this time?
I'm actually living on campus.
Oh, you're on campus?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not realize that. How is campus life compared to family life, living in somebody's home?
Well, it definitely is different, especially that I live alone now and like in apartment on campus. I do prefer the dorms last year because, it was just like, you you get to make connections with people, you get to see people in the apartments. It's just feels like it's a little bit isolated from campus, but it still is cool. I mean, I honestly, whenever I got the apartment, I've been just cooking like crazy. So,
Oh, I love that.
What's your favorite thing to cook?
Oh my gosh, I've been doing some burritos with some beef, but it's not actually beef, it's veggie meat. And, I bring some burrito or tortilla bread as well as, lettuce and some sauces and just cook it and, just make it a little bit crispy and it's really good. I really enjoy doing
That
it.
sounds great.
Yeah, it does.
And obviously,
Making me hungry.
and obviously some dishes from home, like we got this thing called bedo salsa that's like eggs with some tomato paste. Oh my gosh, I love that thing. It's really good. And it's technically healthy too, so you can't go wrong with both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, enough about food before after and I bail on you and go get lunch. So,
Right.
So what made you want to study abroad?
Well, it was always a dream of mine to travel. And, first of all, when I was an exchange student, I was 16 at that time. And oh my gosh, it's 5 years ago. That's crazy. So whenever, I was in, let's say, school in Bahrain, I kind of noticed that we do definitely have accommodation system. It's not really the best, in my opinion. It definitely could be better. I mean, a lot of people did help me out, especially in the Ministry of Education, but somehow, for example, in high school, I was expelled from taking science classes like math because our high school system is a little bit different than the US. So, long story short, in the US, in high school, it kind of feels like university to some certain extent, especially in a couple high schools around the Springfield area. I used to go to Kickapoo, so...
My alma mater.
So, yeah. I mean, I was able to choose whatever I wanted to take. I mean, obviously there were some requirements, but you have a little bit of freedom. Back home, you get to choose between pathways. Like there is the science pathway, which has it has two pathways. Like there's chemistry and biology. There's math and physics, or there's also marketing and business major or pathway. And there's literature. So I wanted to go with the science major, but somehow I was not allowed to because they said that you're visually impaired. There won't be books for you. So I was kind of forced to go with literature. And I really didn't want to do that because, I like tech, I like science. I do a lot of product reviews and I like social media. Like I genuinely do, like sharing my opinions and reviewing things, doing tech and all of that. So I kind of didn't want to do it. So, somehow I was told about this program called the YESC program, which stands for Youth Exchange and Study, and it's funded by the U.S. Department of State, which is an exchange program. And at that time, I was, when was it? 2020 is when I applied, and I was like, I'll give it a shot. What could possibly go wrong, guys? Either I get it or I don't.
They can say yes or they can say no.
Yeah. So it was definitely the first step I took, and out of 150 people from my home country, I somehow ended up getting it.
Wow.
Out of and we were like from my home country, it was like 8 people in total, and they scattered them around the United States. Like I have a friend that went to Hawaii. Alaska. I have a friend that went to Ohio, and somehow I ended up coming to Missouri. I don't know how to. I just ended up being here, and I was hosted by Empowerability's CEO, Shannon Porter. And honestly, I had the best experience. She was more than a mom to me. She helped me a lot. She treated me like her own son. She never made me pay for anything, which sometimes, to be honest, makes me a little bit pissed. But hey, I'm happy about it. I can't complain,
But of all places in the world, Springfield, Missouri, where you landed.
Yeah, and basically when I went to Kickapoo, I learned that there is this thing called the 504 plan, and, I kind of went with that, and I was like, cool, they're giving me an iPad now. I never had that before, And I was like really happy with the school. The teachers were accommodating pretty well, and I ended up coming out of it with pretty high grades too. So I was like, with some assistive technology, everything is possible, especially nowadays, and like specifically in our era, like I don't feel many people, especially like those with visual impairment like me, would struggle a lot nowadays, just like they used to be 20, 30 years ago. Like a lot of people used to rely on braille, which definitely was not available everywhere. But now assistive technology is literally everywhere, even in your watch if you use an Apple Watch.
So, can you give us kind of a little snapshot of some of the cultural differences, even as a person with a disability? What those you don't have to go into detail, but just a snapshot of maybe the assistive technology or the attitudes or anything that you experience, like in your home country versus like here.
All right, well, to be completely honest, it definitely is a lot different. Back home, many people, many even teachers looked at me like I don't know what's the exact term or what's the exact word, but they're kind of like petting me a little bit, which I kind of didn't like. Some people were definitely looking to me in a different way than they look at a regular human being, and the amount of bully I got was just crazy, especially growing up. So
No, you said pitying, is that what you said?
yeah, pitying and like bullying too. I got bullied by a lot of students, just for the way my eye looks, which is, I guess, I got used to it by like within time. I just kept ignoring it. I was like, you know what? I guess I'm unique. Who cares? I'm unique.
Right.
I do what I want to do. No one cares. You're gonna hurt me. Like I wouldn't make, let's say, a 5 second word you said is not gonna ruin my whole day, which is whatever 8,000 seconds, maybe probably more.
Yeah.
But it's just you can't let 3 seconds ruin your whole day. Or like
That's some resilience
Yes.
there.
yeah. So that's how I kind of grew up. I definitely had a different experience from other people. In the U.S., honestly, I really didn't notice as much different than looking at the other people because I'm able to do whatever I want to do. Like as I said, like right now I'm taking a cyber risk class, and oh my gosh, that thing is hard. It
A what
requires a lot of
class?
yeah, it requires a lot of coding. It requires a lot of vision stuff. And I know for a fact back home I might not be able to do that, at least in a public school. So I'm happy that I get to do it here.
And what's it again? The class that...
It's a cyber risk class.
Oh,
Cyber risk.
yeah.
Gotcha.
So yeah,
So
it's
what exactly are you wanting to do after graduation? What's your hopes and dreams?
well, as of now, I have a degree on like I'm getting my bachelor's in multimedia production and journalism, which is a communication major, and I have 3 minors in cyber risk management, which is hacking things and all, and computer science and webcom and design, which means I build websites.
Nice.
Very cool.
As for the future, I honestly don't know. That's why I'm doing 4 things, and I'm all over the place, especially with AI. I'm honestly kind of skeptical about it. I think of AI as an assistive tool to us rather than a replacement. That's how I think about it.
That's how I would like to think about it. I mean,
But sadly, I feel like it's definitely used a little bit wrong, especially in a lot of scenarios. Like, I've seen a lot of students, what they do, ChatGPT their essay and just call it a day. Why would you pay college then if you're going to do that, It just...
my
Yeah.
theory is the purpose is an assistant. So I personally like to do my own work, and then if I'm maybe questioning something that I've written or whatever, then I'll run it through them to see if
Yeah,
my
check for
little
grammar
companion will
Yeah.
make it, any improvements or anything. But if I don't use my own skill, then I'm going to lose it, and then therefore I will be replaceable.
Yeah, that's exactly how I use it. And honestly, I found AI pretty cool when it comes to assisting me in some ways. Like for example, if there is a paper that I can't see because I cannot read from a physical paper, and I can't write on a physical paper because my vision is limited. So what I do is I use AI, send the paper, try to summarize it for me, or like even read it out loud for me, which is really cool. Like it does help a lot. And this is just one out of many things. Sometimes if there are some pictures that I can't see, send it to AI, and just like describes the photo for me. So there are so many ways that those people with visually impaired could definitely put it to use. And I got the Meta Ray Bans as a gift, which people are using it just to take videos and all. I honestly do that a lot, but I use their features. They have a feature. I don't really remember what it's called, but it's it basically like kind of describes detail like like in specific details what's in front of you. Like if you just like, hey Meta, what's in front of me? It just describes, the whole scene. It just gives you a layout. If I'm getting in an Uber, for example, I want to make sure that this is the right car, this is the right license plate, because I can't read it. I just ask the glasses and it tells me.
Yeah.
So, it just, it's really useful AI. Like the AI is really useful if you know how to use it the right way, for sure.
And one thing I would say also is it is way cheaper than some of the assistive technology that's already being sold with similar features. Not gonna say that it's the same because it's not, but it still has that exactly what you're talking about, that assistant piece where it's like, hey, describe the scene to me, and there's some pairs that are $2,000, whereas these are. How much did you pay for yours?
Well, I got mine as a gift, but
that's right.
$350 or so. But
yeah, something.
I definitely get what you're saying. Like, I personally don't necessarily have a specific assistive technology devices that I own.
Mm-hmm.
I have my phone, and obviously I have an iPhone, and I could zoom in a lot on it how as much as I want, because there's a magnification feature built in, and for those who are completely blind, there's the voiceover, obviously, which is a screen reader that narrates everything in the screen, and you could use it. My watch also has a zoom in feature, and I could make it speak if I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
I own a MacBook, which that's what I honestly rely on to study all the time, and I use magnification, text to speech, all of that, and it does help, as well as my iPad. So, definitely what you're saying is, specifically with our like modern day devices, they come equipped with these features. So I definitely do see. I mean, I'm not saying that they are going to replace some assistive technology devices, but they're definitely a cheaper, better alternative for sure. So
yeah.
So the assistive technology is there, but people need to take the initiative to learn about it, find out what's available, and I'm assuming you're pretty much self-study, so you've done your own research and you know what's helping you the best.
exactly. And I have honestly, like, I've done a series on my YouTube explaining how that works, and sadly it's not in English. It's my native language, which is Arabic, because that's what my native language.
Yeah.
But I'm more than happy to actually, like, I kind of want to flip to English and start making content here, because I like doing it.
Nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
Let's switch just a little bit and talk about the independence and accessibility side. So tell us, what does independence mean to you personally?
Basically, I feel like it's you're able to navigate, you're able to do many things just equally to other people. That's what makes you independent. For example, for me, I'm able to go to class. I'm able to maybe buy groceries. Honestly, in some part of the US, like here in Springfield, I would say that I'm independent, but without, the help, sometimes it gets difficult. For example, getting groceries from the store as a person who doesn't drive in this part of town, it's a little bit, for sure, I feel like, challenging.
Mm-hmm.
And you definitely have to rely on services like,
The delivery.
Yeah, delivery services and all.
I only use Walmart delivery, so shame there.
That's exactly what I use, and they actually offer some pretty good student discount if you're a student. So that's what I use.
I didn't know that.
So
Going back to school, Afton?
No, I hope not.
but yeah, like this is one of the things that I kind of encountered here, specifically in this part of the U.S. I can't go off campus as much as I would hope to, because it's just hard navigating the area by yourself. First, it's not safe. Second, I don't feel like the sidewalks is really paved, which is pretty sad. But I just hope for an improvement. But I feel like that's one of the limitations that I have for sure. But Other than that, navigating life, being able to do whatever task that any other individual is able to do, is what makes you independent.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what are some small changes that you think our community can make that would make a big difference for people with vision impairments or other disabilities?
Share the resources.
Share their
Honestly,
resources?
yeah, because not a lot of people know about the services that the Greene County or even Springfield offers. Like, I've asked so many people about empowerabilities and they just don't know about it, for example. And they offer pretty good services. You guys definitely do that. And I, I do appreciate it. For example, a few months ago, I've been to a stage in my life where it was just, I was not really doing well. Somehow my eye pressure got significantly high and I had to have a surgery, and that decreased my eye pressure to a significantly low level, to the point that my doctors started saying that I actually might be dealing with a retinal detachment, which obviously freaked me out. And it became to the point where I kind of had folded vision in my eye. So in the side of my eye, I was seeing things like folded. Like it's just weird. Like I genuinely don't know how to explain it. And it genuinely, like, my vision started decreasing. I kind of started not going to class, and I definitely got in touch with Empowerabilities, and I got a white cane, and I've never used that thing, like, ever. And I had to use it for, like, my first time in my life, and I was kind of, like, I guess, embarrassed about it a little bit, walking with that thing.
I remember feeling that way when I first got
Yeah,
one
so I was like, is that gonna be the rest of my life? But it definitely got better. But obviously, without this cane, I don't know what I was be able to honestly will be able to do. So
Yeah,
thank you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. What we try to do is, well, like, we don't personally give out the white canes, to be fair.
Yeah.
We help, but we help you we probably got you a white cane through the National Federation of the Blind. They have a free white cane program, and we've helped tons of people get connected to that. I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah.
So you both mentioned that you were a little bit embarrassed to use an assistive device to help you be independent. And I think as a culture, we see that all the time. People that really need assistance, with walkers or toilet risers, wheelchairs, something that other people are going to actually notice that you have a disability. But how did you overcome the embarrassment of identifying with a disability then? How do we get our culture to accept and get our consumers to not feel like, they're not to have that embarrassment?
I'd be comfortable answering that. I know for myself, I switch between a guide dog and a white cane. And my white cane, when I first got it, I was in 5th grade, and I remember being really embarrassed because I brought it to school with me, and there were some students who were like, "I didn't realize you were that blind." And I was like, "I'm blind, but I'm not completely blind." It's so hard to explain when you're when you're learning about your disability and learning about what tools can help, and you're still trying to learn to advocate for yourself. And then sometimes you also fit in this kind of crack between you have a disability, but it doesn't look like everyone else, or you feel like you don't fit within that disability category. And that was for me, where I felt like, well, I'm not completely blind. I'm legally blind, but I'm not completely blind. And not to make this about me, right. But that's the experience I had, where and it ultimately, for me, overcoming it, I just had to say, I use the cane, so what? I can fold it up and it sits next to me. So what?
What are you going to do about it, right?
Yeah, like it became a so what? I mean, if you're going to judge me for it, I guess you're going to judge me for it. I can't change your mind.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I don't use, like, I just use the cane for that specific time. but I have such a hard time identifying who I'm speaking to because I can't see faces.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, I just like, for example, I'm on campus, some guy goes like, "Hey, Sayed, what's up? How are you doing? How was your day?" And I go like, I'm good. Who am I speaking to? I
Mm-hmm.
just like, sometimes, I try to remember who I'm speaking to. I try to remember their voice as much as I can.
So for you,
Um,
somebody that wants to speak to you, identifying themselves before they said I'm Julie, or really trying to start the conversation with a introduction.
Yeah, yeah. So like sometimes it does make me nervous and how I'm like who I'm speaking to, even though like it doesn't really bother me at all. Like, oh, there's someone who's speaking to me, It
Eventually, I'll
just
figure it out, right?
yeah, eventually I'll figure it out. And if I don't, I'll just go on, in my day. And it's like and sometimes I was like, what was your name again, buddy? I forgot your name. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Sometimes I do that a lot. But like it's one of definitely like my downsides. And I definitely like tell the people that I hang out with, I like, hey guys, specifically like if we are hanging out, in the first couple of weeks, days maybe. I'm not gonna say weeks because I honestly memorize voices pretty quick, which is kind of impressive. But yeah, it's kind of one of my good senses, I guess.
Well, when you
Um,
have a disability, you trust on your other senses to make up for that,
yeah,
and so you accommodate yourself and you find your strengths, and that's how you become more independent.
I guess the only thing that I could say is that if you're comfortable, share your needs. Because if you share your needs, people will understand what you really need.
Mm-hmm.
So, like in my case, I try to tell people to identify themselves before they speak to me, so I know who I'm talking to. It makes me comfortable. For example, if we're playing some board games like Uno, I ask the people to say the cards that they're putting on the table, so I know what's going on. So, I believe that if you have some certain type of needs, you always have to speak up for yourself, no matter what. And if the people on the table doesn't really like it, then it's their problem. It's not your problem because you were born this way.
Right.
There's nothing you can change about it. The only thing you can do is you speak up for yourself. Say your like what you want, what you need, in order for you to be involved, to be successful. That's how life works.
Absolutely. I agree with I deal with the same issues, so I definitely appreciate it when people say, "Hey, it's Afton, by the way." And yeah, I usually I if I'm around them a bunch, then I get to know I get to know their voices. Like I know Julie's
Mm-hmm.
voice,
Mm-hmm.
um but it takes time. Like I agree with you. It's way easier when someone just says like, "Hey, it's Afton. Good to see you."
Yeah. And
Okay.
sometimes I definitely do identify people based on their hair color. And specifically if they have some kind of like standing out hair color. Like there was this person who used to go to Drury. Their hair color was like literally pink. So I was like, oh, I know who that person is. That's cool.
Well, again, you rely on what senses you have, and you adapt, and that's how, like I said, how you remove your own barriers and become more independent. So, what's been the most surprising or meaningful experience that you've had here so far in the States?
Well, a lot of things, honestly, but definitely when I used to be an exchange student and I lived with Shannon,
Mm-hmm.
definitely had the most impact on me. I never realized that you really don't necessarily need to be uh, related to be a family because I went through a lot of things in my exchange year. I used to be in a PE class. I was not even playing that time. I was just sitting, and I got a speeding, a really speedy flying dodgeball in my eye, and that was just like I was laughing about it at first, but it turned out to be something serious. Eye pressure was turning up to be pretty high. I went to the hospital a couple of times. I got pills. Those pills caused for me to have kidney stones, and oh my gosh, I thought I was dying. But Sharon was there for me and took me to the emergency room, and we were there for a couple of hours. That's when, and then we went to the doctor, and I had to have surgery. It didn't really work. Had two other surgeries when she was there for me all the time, and I never realized how much I'm appreciated. I gotta say, in this community. And whenever I went back home, I wanted to find any other way, just any way that I could come back and at least say hi and say thanks. And obviously, whatever I do won't say thanks enough for
Mhm.
Shannon and her family. So
That's amazing.
That chosen family is so important.
It
that's
is.
that's so meaningful.
So, do you have any advice for other people, maybe in other countries, who particularly have a disability, who might be afraid of trying something new like traveling or studying abroad? What advice would you give to them?
there's nothing difficult in life, especially nowadays. There's absolutely nothing difficult. If I can do it, you can do it. And if I'm like visually impaired, maybe you have a different disability. Believe me, many countries, especially like worldwide in the airports, I would think at least 80 to 90% of the airports worldwide would offer you some certain type of assistance. For me, whenever I'm traveling, I put in my ticket like a special request where I need a person to get me to my gate, sometimes go to the lounge, get some food, Um, these services are available. You just have to look for them. You just have to make your research. If you want to study abroad, start looking at, first of all, universities that offer good accommodations. In the US, I know that, especially with the ADA, they do offer pretty good, um, services. And obviously, they are required to. I don't know about any other countries, but I would assume it's the same.
Hmm.
So you have to do your research first, definitely. And then from there, you obviously, you start doing the process. Think about it. Have a couple of options and try to sort it out. If you feel uncomfortable, try to maybe talk with for example, if you're going to be going to a university, talk with the advisor, see what they have to say. And that's where you're going to be able to figure it out. And just don't be scared to try new things. Because being scared, not getting out of your comfort zone would definitely not, change you. You have to try new things. That's how you improve. You have to fail. That's how you become a better person. I don't I don't feel like failure is bad. As a matter of fact, it's part of success. Like, I have so many experiences that I've had in the past where I failed. But the thing is, I try my best to not give up. For example, last year, I applied to be a RACA, which is a resident advisor on like campus, which means, you basically help students, freshmen specifically in the dorms. You get free housing, free meal plan, but at the same time, you have some responsibilities to do. And the application is pretty competitive, I gotta say, because the positions opened are not as much, but the amount of people who apply for it is really high. Same thing with the orientation leaders, whenever you go to, for example, campus or university in the US, they have to do like, you have to be in an orientation group. There are a lot of activities. They show you around campus. There are some lectures that you have to attend. I applied for both last year and somehow I didn't get it. I was like, why giving up? I'm applying again this year. So I did, and I still didn't get the RA position. I got an alternate position instead. So in the fall, I might actually become an RA if some circumstances happens. But I got the all leader position. So next year, I'm going to be an orientation leader. So never back down and never give up. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, and failures always create learning opportunities.
For sure.
So
Absolutely.
turn it around. So, if there's one thing that our listeners could take away from your story, is there one thing that you would like to leave as a final parting word to them?
I just said it. Never give up.
Never give
Try
up.
your
Never
best.
give up.
Okay. All right. Well, Sayed, thanks for sharing your story. Afton, do you have any other thoughts or questions?
I don't think so. If there's anyone who is struggling, who maybe has a vision impairment or any sort of disability that you're struggling with, and you're not sure how to navigate it in the education system, or if you are struggling with something healthcare wise, feel free to give us a call too. We can help you advocate. We can help you advocate. So feel free to reach out.
Yeah. I think conversations like this today remind us that independence looks different for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
No one story, one solution fits everybody, but access and opportunity make everything possible.
Absolutely.
So for our listeners out there, if today's conversation sparked any way of you thinking about accessibility and inclusion, we encourage you to keep learning, keep wandering, keep dreaming, keep reaching out and sharing your stories, your words with other people. So we appreciate your time in spending this hour with us at Empower Hour and Empower Abilities. Sayed, thank you so much too.
No problem. It was nice talking to you guys, and I hope everyone to have a wonderful good day.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for listening. If you have any episode ideas or questions, feel free to email us at marketing@empowerabilities.org. You can feel free to listen to us on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. Visit our website and get involved.